to begin, let's come into an easy cross-legged seat. Mhm. And so as you find your seat, like I told you before, I recommend sitting up on something that helps to relax your hip flexors. Um, and if you're not comfortable sitting on a cushion or on the floor, you can sit on a chair or the edge of your bed. You can have one shin crossed in front of the other. You can have one foot placed in front of the other if that's more comfortable for you. And rest your hands on your thighs and just shift a little side to side and lean forward and back to connect to your sitting bones. And this practice that we're going to start with today is called orienting. It comes from, I don't know if any of you have heard of Peter Levine and his work on somatic experiencing. It's actually a well-researched modality for healing trauma. And so what we know about trauma, typically the first thing you think of when you hear the word trauma is some giant, terrible experience, like living through a natural disaster or, something really big. But what researchers are finding is that we can also experience a cumulative trauma, just lots of little stressors that build up over time and kind of wreak havoc on our nervous systems. And so just honestly living in today's sort of society, right, with all the pressures, being a college student, maybe working a job, having deadlines, relationships, family, money issues, these build up and stress us out. And so this, even if you're, no matter the scale of the trauma that you experience, these practices are helpful. And so I'll just share what Tayla has to say about it, this practice of orienting. She says, mindfully engaging with the external world can help us make use out of the information gathered from our internal world. Sometimes our inner dialogue can shift us away from the present moment into either fantasy, worry, or memory. In that spirit, practicing presence with the world that holds us exactly as it is critical to cultivating meaningful relationship with the present moment. Okay, so this practice is an invitation to widen our perspective on our experience by inviting awareness of the present moment. It helps to move us out of our narrow perspectives by allowing us to gather information about our environment. Okay, so it's useful for navigating new daily stressors or just regulating your nervous system in a moment of heightened distress. Okay. So take a few moments and get into a comfortable seated position. Again, you feel free to make any adjustments to your body at any point. That could mean just shifting your weight or taking a stretch so that you are, in fact, comfortable. Just being in a position that allows you to sense your immediate surroundings. And soften your gaze, or if you prefer, you can close down your eyes. And just take a few moments to notice your breath as it is. So there's no need to change or control your breath in any way. Just notice it flowing in and out through your nostrils, into your lungs. And following the breath as it flows out. taking this time to connect to your internal landscape. Just making space to be with yourself. Just noticing how you feel, what's on your mind today, how you feel in your body. Try not to judge yourself or your experience in any way. Just notice. And if your eyes are closed, you can slowly blink them open. And then looking in all directions, just allow your eyes to wander around the space that you're in. And if possible, look not just with your eyes, but with your entire head. So your head can move, slowly scanning your environment. Maybe even looking back behind you, twisting around. Taking note of the space you're in. As your eyes wander, you might take a mental note of what you see. And perhaps there's something in your environment that's comforting or soothing or pleasurable for you to look at. You might rest your gaze. It might be a plant or a tree out your window, maybe a piece of artwork. Perhaps there's a blanket that's your favorite color. There's no right or wrong. Just allow your eyes to rest. And then when you're ready, you can continue scanning until you find something else to rest your gaze upon. And then once you feel complete with this noticing practice, you can bring your attention back inside, either by closing your eyes or softening your gaze out in front of you. Take another few moments to notice your breath, making note of anything that feels different about how you are now. And when you feel complete, you can open your eyes yet again. So that practice can be particularly helpful for those of us who don't feel comfortable closing our eyes, or maybe you do for a while and then you need to open your eyes and reorient. You can do that in any moment. You know, if we're in a meditation, you can always open your eyes, look around, come back to presence, establish a feeling of safety in your body and in your environment, and then bring your attention back inside. Okay. So from here, I have someone in the waiting room. Just gonna let them in. Bring your feet together out in front of you and widen your knees. As promised, we're gonna work a little bit to wake up our feet today. And so with your feet together and knees wide, take your thumbs to the soles of your feet and just start to press side to side as if you are just kind of kneading dough. It's funny, maybe you don't actually know what it's like to knead dough. I haven't kneaded dough in a long time, not since My grandmother used to bake bread, but so if you're not sure what that's like, you can imagine. We're just gonna wake up to the soles of the feet. Kind of working your thumbs up towards your toes and then back down towards your heels. And I like to do this like side to side. So it's like right, left. That sort of rhythmic motion just feels good to me. So you can try that out. Good. And then you might just kind of squeeze your whole foot, working your hands up and down a little bit. Good. And then lift your knees, walk your feet out in front of you slightly with your knees bent. And go ahead and cross your left ankle above your right knee. Okay. This one feels really good, but it's a little strange feeling if you haven't done this before. You're gonna take your fingers and weave them through your toes. Kind of, those of you who maybe had a pedicure before, you know this feeling. And just see if you can, same thing, kind of knead out your feet, maybe circling out through your toes. And now stabilize your leg with your left hand, and we're gonna circle out through the left ankle. And then change direction, circle the other way. From there, you can release your hand, make a fist with your right hand, and just start to kind of smack the sole of your foot, waking up the sole of your foot. Kind of turning on those sensory receptors in your foot. And again, this will help with balance and standing poses today. And then finally, go ahead and give a little pull to each of your toes. And do that once more on each toe. And then if there's any last little way you want to give your feet a little extra love, maybe just massaging all around, squeezing your heels, wrapping your hands all the way around the front of your foot, and release. From there, straighten your legs out in front of you, and just point and flex your feet. And you can do one at a time. And then we'll change sides. So bend your knees. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. Weave your left fingers through your toes. It might be kind of tricky. And again, just kind of knead out your foot. And then when you're ready, stabilize with your right hand and start to make those ankle circles. Remember to take deep breaths as you do this. We're just talking about that. Change direction, circle the other way. And from there, release. Make a fist with your left hand and just kind of smack out the sole of your foot again, waking up those sensory receptors in your feet, turning them on. Okay, and give your toes a little pull, each of them one at a time. And do that once more. You might get some of those good snap, crackles, and pops. Good. And now release, extend your legs straight and point and flex your feet. You can have your hands at your sides or slightly behind you to support yourself, and do one at a time. From here, if you are playing music, you are welcome to turn that on. If you want to do a little countdown with me, we can start that together in 3, 2, and 1. And from there, we're going to come into what's called Vajrasana or thunderbolt pose. So seated on your heels with your toes tucked. You might notice for me, my pinky toes don't automatically tuck, so I'm going to do that manually. We're going to do our seated cat's breath with your toes tucked. If this becomes too much, you can always untuck your toes. So let's start by cultivating that ocean sounding breath. We learned that last week. So inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth as if you're fogging up a mirror. Do that again. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, slow, audible breath through your mouth. Now continue to make that sound as you breathe in and out through your nose. Constricting through the base of your throat so that you can feel your breath, hear your breath. You can continue the ocean sounding breath as you drop your tailbone towards your knees, drop your chin to your chest, and round your back. Exhale. And then inhale, reverse, roll your shoulders back, lean forward. Let's continue like that. Exhale, round and stretch. Inhale to open up. Just once more. Good, and now come into a neutral spine. Lean forward, untuck your toes, tabletop, and then just smack out your feet on the floor with your toes untucked. Good. Keep your toes untucked, bring your knees together, and sit back on your heels. We're going to stretch out through the fronts of the feet. So you can rest your left hand at your side, place your right hand to your right knee, lean back, and pick up your knee, getting a good stretch to the front of your right ankle. Soften your eyes, deepen your breath. As you exhale, lower your right knee down. Place your right hand at your side, left hand to left knee, lean back, pick up your left knee. Inhale. And exhale. One more deep breath in through your nose. And exhale to set your knee back down. You can stay here or experiment now with both hands on your knees, leaning back, picking your knees up, stretching through both ankles at the same time. Inhale deeply. And exhale to release, lower your knees, and come back into a tabletop. So stack your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under. And now inhale, look forward, lift your tailbone, cat's breath. Exhale, round, press the mat away, drop your head. And continue like that. Inhale, look forward, open up. And exhale to round. Once more on your own, follow your breath. Good. And now come to neutral. Untuck your toes and extend your left leg long behind you, toes tucked. Shift your weight forward and back, stretching through your left calf and the sole of your foot. Press evenly into your hands, each knuckle of your hand. And then lower your left knee. Extend your right leg long with your toes tucked. Shift forward and back. Just breathe deeply. You don't have to sync your breath with your movement. And lower your knees down. Tuck your toes, press back. Active child's pose. Reach your hips towards your heels. You might slide your hands forward slightly to deepen the stretch of your shoulders. Inhale, fill your lungs, your low belly. Exhale, softening into the shape. And then inhale, shift forward, hands and knees. With your toes tucked, press back, downward facing dog. So remember, in this pose, you can keep your knees generously bent if your hamstrings or your lower back is tight. And then just pedal out through your feet, bending, deepening the bend of one knee, moving towards a straight leg on the other side. And doing that side to side. Good, and now slow your movement down. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth, let out a sigh. Now look to the top of your mat and step your feet forward. And coming into a forward bend. So this is where, again, you might want to prop your hands up on something, or you can bend your knees. If that helps you to create space, you could do both. And so from here, shift. We'll see that your feet are hip distance apart and parallel. Shift your weight back, lift your toes and spread them. And then plant your toes, shift your weight forward, lift your heels. And do that a few more times. Rocking back, moving slowly. Again, activating your feet and therefore your legs. And then lower your toes and your heels down, so planting through all four corners of your feet. Soften your knees, bring your hands to your hips, send your elbows high, and come up to standing with a flat back. Coming into a mountain pose. Rest your arms at your sides. Turn your palms forward to broaden through your collarbones. And as you inhale, lift your arms up and overhead. Option to lift your gaze. Exhale, release your arms back down at your sides. Flowing with your breath. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, lower. Once more on your own, move at your pace. This next time you lift your arms, prepare to fold forward. So soften your knees, lead with your sternum, hinge at your hips, and fold. Drop your head. Take an inhale, lift halfway. Shift your weight into your left foot. Pick up your right heel. Stretch your right leg long and softly land in a lunge. Set your back knee down. Will be our warm-up today, a variation of sun salutations with a little bit more of an emphasis on the feet and the legs. You can prop up your hands as needed. Inhale, look forward. Keep your back toes tucked if that's okay for your back knee. As you exhale, straighten your front leg. Half splits. Press the mound, big toe, little toe mound of your foot down. So you're stretching through the front of your ankle. And then pick up your toes. Inhale. And exhale. point your toes down. It's okay if you have a little or a generous bend of your left knee. Okay, and now bend your left knee, come back into a lunge. You can stay here, or for more of a challenge, pick up your left heel. We're gonna flow with the breath. Drop your heel if it's lifted, straighten your left leg, exhale. Inhale, bend your knee, option to pick your left heel up. This is where the blocks or props might be helpful. Exhale, glide back. Inhale, forward. Good. If your left heel is lifted, lower it down. Step back to your hands and your knees. Keeping your toes tucked. So we're going to lower down to our bellies. The classical way to do that is lowering through what's called knees, chest, chin. I'll show you what that looks like, and you can also choose to just kind of lower through a half push-up. So shifting forward, you already have your knees down. You're gonna lower your chest and your chin down, hug your elbows in. You might get an adjustment in your lower back. And then untuck your toes, shift forward to your belly for cobra. You can also, instead of doing that, you can just lower in one plane to your belly. So have your hands under your shoulders. Lift your right leg, stretch through your toes, lengthen, and then set your foot back down, and then do that on the other side. Lift your left leg, stretch, lengthen, and lower. And now pressing into the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift up, high cobra. Remember, glide your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, press back. Active child's pose. Inhale forward, hands and knees, and into downward facing dog. So as you inhale, lift your right leg, press evenly into your hands, and now circle through your right ankle. Change direction, circle the other way. If it feels awkward or creaky, that's why we're doing it. And I'll take another breath, press into your hands, reach your right leg even higher as you lower your left heel downwards. Now lift your left heel, pull your right knee towards your nose, look forward, step forward, lunge. Bump your foot forward if you need to. And set your left knee down. Okay, so have your left toes tucked as long as that's okay for your knee. Prop your hands up as needed. Inhale, look forward, drop your hips. And exhale to straighten through your right leg. And it's okay, again, if there's a little bend of your knee, no problem. You can press the ball of your foot down and then lift it up. Doing that a couple of times. And on your next inhale, bend your right knee with the option to lift through your right heel. And then reverse, drop your heel, straighten your right leg. Exhale. With your breath, inhale, knee bends, heel can lift. Exhale to straighten. Once more on your own. And now bend through your right knee. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Walk your hands forward, pick your left leg up. Flex your left foot and lower your foot to hover at the top of your mat. Then plant your foot down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins or even your thighs, look forward. And exhale, fold, drop your head. Soften your knees, inhale, rise to stand, lift your arms high. And exhale, release your arms down at your sides. So mountain pose. Lift and spread your toes. And see if you can keep them that spread as you lower them back down. So you're pressing, planting into your feet like roots of a tree, or your toes are like the roots of the tree. Okay, we're gonna flow through that warm up on the other side a little faster. Complete your exhale, let your weight drop into your feet. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Shift your weight into your right foot, pick up your left heel. Stretch your left leg long and softly land in a lunge. Set your back knee down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, straighten your front leg. With your breath, inhale, bend your knee. Option to pick up your right heel. Exhale to straighten. Once more on your own. This time, as you bend your right knee, step back, hands and knees, and lower either half push-up or knees, chest, chin. And then untuck your toes, slide forward to your belly, cobra. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes, press back. Active child's pose. And then to downward facing dog. And take an inhale, lift your left leg, press evenly into your hands, and circle out through your left ankle. And then change direction, circle the other way. Press firmly into both hands, stretch your left toes high as you drop your right heel towards the mat. And now inhale, lift your right heel, pull your left knee towards your nose, look forward, step forward, lunge. Lower your back knee down, inhale, look forward. Exhale, straighten your front leg-ish. With your breath, inhale, bend your knee, option to pick up your left heel. And exhale to glide back. Once more, follow your breath. And now bend through your left knee. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Walk your hands forward as you float your right leg up. Flex your foot and lower your foot to hover at the top of the mat. Then plant your foot down. Inhale, lift partway. Exhale, fold. Head can drop. Soften your knees. Inhale, rise to standing. And exhale, lower your arms down at your sides. Mountain pose. Good. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold. Lead with your sternum, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. And now bend your knees lower down to your seat. So we're going to do a little bit to wake up the core. You can scoot back so you're in the center of your mat. With your knees bent, take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Shift your weight back so you're just on the tips of your toes. Half boat pose, straighten your right leg. Inhale. And it can be straight-ish. Exhale, bend your knee. Lift your sternum even higher, try that on the other side. Lift your left leg, straight-ish. Exhale, lower. Moving with your breath. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend. Okay, you can stay with that side to side or play with lifting both legs. A little easier is having your shins parallel. A little harder is straightening through your legs. Maybe even releasing your hands. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your feet, separate your knees wide. Bound angle pose, lean forward, rock side to side. It'll help to release your hip flexors. You can, again, give your feet a little extra love if you want to. It's massaging, kneading out the soles of the feet. Good. Maybe even starting to work that kneading movement up to your ankles, your calves, just kind of squeezing out your muscles, circulating. And then lift your knees. And this time, plant your feet. So all four corners of your feet are hips distance apart. Reach your hands forward. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, lower part way your lower back. Middle back, keep your shoulders lifted. Inhale here. Exhale, lift back up. We did this last week. Inhale, reach through your fingertips, lift your sternum. Exhale, lower partway down. Keep planting your feet. Inhale here. Exhale to rest. Inhale, extension. Exhale, lower partway. Inhale, pause. Exhale, lift. Pressing into your feet as you lift. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. This time, pause here. Reach your right fingertips towards your right ankle. Inhale through the center. And exhale, reach left fingertips to left ankle. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach. Inhale. And exhale to the left, moving with your breath. Keep your feet firmly planted. Last one, side to side. Good. Come back through the center and then lower all the way down to your back. Extend your feet skywards. You can have your arms at your sides or overhead, however you're most comfortable. Just point and flex to your feet, maybe circle out through your ankles a little bit. And then shake out your legs. Just kind of let all the bones of your feet flop around. Good. And then let that go. Bend your knees a little bit. Let your legs get heavy. So the weight of your legs drops down into your hip creases. Inhale through your nose, exhale. Maybe let out a sigh through your mouth. Good. Bend your knees if they're not. Hold the backs of your thighs and start to rock forward and back. And then plant your feet, come into a forward fold. Have your feet hips distance apart. Again, you can always prop your hands up. Shift your weight into your right foot and then turn to the top of your left toe. So curl your toes under and stretch through the front of your foot, the top of your foot in front of your ankle. You can bend your knee, your right knee as much as you need to, if that's too much of a stretch to have a straight right leg. And then plant your left foot. Change sides. Tuck your right toes under, stretch through the top of your right foot as you bend your knee. Take a breath. And plant your foot. Lift and spread all 10 toes and then lower them, keeping them spread. Soften your knees, bring your hands to your hips, come up to standing with a flat back. And we're going to play with a little bit of balance. So we did a lot to wake up our feet and also the core. Both of those things help with balance. So at first, we'll work dynamic balance, which means movement, and then we'll experiment with static balance or holding a pose. So bend your knees, lift your arms. This is chair pose. It's like you're about to sit on the edge of a chair. Knees should be tracking right over your toes. Take an inhale, reach up through your fingertips. And as you exhale, lower your hands down by your sides. As you inhale, lift your arms, pick up your left knee, straighten your right leg. As you exhale, plant your left foot, lower your hands, bend your knees. With your breath, inhale, lift your arms, lift your right knee, straighten your left leg. Exhale to lower, bend your knees. Flow with your breath. So inhale to lift up, exhale to lower. Inhale through the right knee, exhale, lower. Once more, side to side. This time, with both feet planted, inhale, lift your arms, lift your heels. Steady your gaze, soften your eyes, deepen your breath. If you fall out of the pose, that's okay, no problem. Just come back as you're ready. And then lower your heels down, lower your arms. Circle out through your shoulders. Shake out through your legs a little bit in case any tension has crept into your legs. And turn to the top of your mat if you're not there already. As you inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your hands and your knees. Stretch your hips back towards your heels, active child's pose. Exhale. Inhale, shift forward to hands and knees and lower either half push-up or knees just chin. Untuck your toes, shift to your belly. From here, reach your hands back, locust pose. Press into the tops of your feet so much that your sternum lifts up. You can stay here or lift your legs as well. Stretch back through all 10 toes. And feel how activating your feet supports the entire shape of this posture. It gives it a little more zap of energy. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, lower down and rest on your belly. You can sag your hands under your forehead or turn your head to one side. Maybe sway out through your hips to release through your lower back. And just let your weight drop down into the support of the floor. And complete your exhale. Slide your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, press back, active child's pose. And into downward facing dog. And take an inhale, lift your right leg. Drop your left heel as you stretch your right toes high. And as you exhale, pull your knee to your nose, look forward, step forward, lunge. Okay, so we practiced Warrior 2 last time. We're gonna do that today. Spin your back heel down and rise up to standing. Take your arms out to the sides. Your right knee is bent, left leg is straight. Your right toes are facing the short edge of your mat. Right knee stacks directly over your heel. Left foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Good. Press down into all four corners of your feet. Inhale, straighten your right leg, lift your arms. And exhale, arms open wide, right knee bends. With your breath, inhale, straighten, lift. Exhale, open. Once more. Okay, this time, as you lift, pause with your legs straight. Place your left hand to your left hip. Reach your right fingertips forward. Micro bend your right knee, setting up for triangle pose. Keep reaching through your right fingertips as you lower your hand either to your thigh, your shin, the floor, or you could use a block or a prop for your right hand. And now charge into your feet. Roll your left shoulder back, lean back with the option to lift your left arm and maybe even look up. Bring your attention to your right foot. The tendency is to spill your weight into your outer foot. See if you can press down, especially into your big toe mound, rooting through all four corners of your feet. Bring your attention to your back foot, rooting especially into the pinky toe mound of your foot. And from there, extend in all directions. Take another deep breath in. And a full breath out. Release your left hand. Come into a lunge. Lower your back knee, straighten your front leg, half splits. And this time we're going to hold the pose. You're welcome to point and flex your foot for a moment, but then start to settle into steadiness. Take an inhale, lift part way. Exhale, fold in. Complete your exhale. Shift back into a lunge. Place your hands inside of your front foot and heel toe your foot towards the long edge of your mat. So out to the right a little bit. But see that your foot's still parallel to the long edge of your mat. Tuck your back toes. Press into your hands and your front foot. Glide your shoulder blades onto your back to lengthen your spine. And so this is a deep hip opening. You can prop your hands up on something if that makes the pose feel better for you, or for more sensation, you could lower down to your forearms. And complete your exhale. Come back up onto your hands if you're not. Lift your left knee. Walk your hands through the long edge of your mat. So you come into a lunge over your left leg. And step back, downward facing dog. So you're facing the back of your mat. You are welcome to take a child's pose for a breath or two. Just take a moment, reconnect with your breath. And we'll prepare for the other side. So from your downward facing dog, take an inhale, lift your left leg. Press into your hand, stretch your left toes high as you drop your right heel towards your mat. And as you exhale, pull knee to nose, look forward, step forward, lunge, bump your foot forward if you need to. Spin your back heel down. And inhale, come up, windmill through your arms, warrior two. So see that your left toes face the short edge of your mat. Right foot lines up with the short edge of your mat-ish. Left knee is bent, knee stacks over your heel, right leg is straight. Complete your exhale. Inhale, straighten your legs, lift your arms. Exhale, arms open, left knee bends. Move with your breath. Once more. Staying connected to your feet, even as your legs and arms move. This next time you lift up, keep your legs straight, place your right hand to your right hip. Notice if you're locking your left knee, have a micro bend, just a little bend, so your knee is soft. Start to reach your left fingertips past your left toes. Keep lengthening, reaching, and then lower your hand either to your thigh, your shin, the floor, or you could use a prop. And now charge into your feet, roll your right shoulder back, lean back, with the option to pick up your right arm. Bring your attention, so this is triangle pose, Trikonasana. Bring your attention to your left foot. Notice if you're pouring your weight into your outer foot, press your big toe mound down, rooting into all four corners of your foot. In your right foot, notice if you're dumping your weight into your big toe mound, seal up the outer edge of your foot, so the pinky toe side. And from that awareness of your feet, charge through your legs, expand through your arms, and extend through your spine. Maybe look up at your right fingertips. And take an inhale. Exhale, lower your hands to frame your left foot, lunge. Set your right knee down. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold, straighten through your left leg. And again, you can move around a little bit in the pose, but then settle into steadiness. Take an inhale, lift partway and length. And exhale, fold. And complete your exhale. As you inhale, bend your left knee. Place your hands inside of your foot and heel toe your left foot to the left so that it lines up with the long edge of your mat. Tuck your right toes under if they're not. Same thing, you can prop yourself up onto some kind of prop for your hands, or for more sensation, you can lower down to your forearms. Either close your eyes or soften your gaze and breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Couple more breaths here. Complete your exhale. As you inhale, come back up onto your hands. If they're not, pick up your right knee, turn to the long side of your mat, to the front of your mat, lunge over your right leg. And from there, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Head can drop. Soften your knees. Inhale, rise to stand, flat back, lift your arms. Connect your palms. Exhale, lower your hands through the center and down at your sides, mountain pose. Okay, so we're gonna take one more balancing pose. This time, tree pose, Vrikshasana. Bring your feet together so your big toes touch and your heels are slightly apart. Bring your hands to your hips, lift and spread your toes. Okay, shift your weight into your right foot. Pick up your left heel. Pick up your left knee. Take your knee out to the side and then either place your foot to your calf, your inner calf, or catch your ankle, place your foot to your inner thigh. If you feel really unsteady today, you could have your left toes on the floor, sole the foot to your right ankle. Steady your gaze out on one point on the floor. It could be like a fleck of dirt or maybe a groove in your floor, a pattern on your rug. Anchor your right foot down, all four corners. Press your left foot into your leg into your foot to kind of seal in and vacuum upwards, stand even taller. If you want to challenge your balance, you can lift your arms up and overhead. If you fall out of the pose, just come back as you're ready. It's not a big deal. Just have some patience for yourself. I'll take one more inhale. Exhale, if your hands are lifted, release them to your hips and set your left foot down. Curl your right toes under, stretch out through the front of your foot, top of your foot, ankle. And then set your foot down. Bring both feet together. Again, lift and spread your toes, plant them back down. Shift your weight into your left foot. Pick up your right heel. Pick up your right knee. Take your knee to the side and find your tree pose. Either foot to ankle, calf, or catch your right ankle, place your foot to your inner thigh. Steady your gaze on one point on the floor. This helps with your balance. Press your right foot into your leg into your foot to grow even taller through the top of your head. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, you can lift your arms up and overhead. Breathe deeply, even if this feels challenging, even if you fall out of the pose. Just come back as you're ready. And take one more inhale. Exhale, lower your hands if they're lifted, hands to hips. Set your right foot down. Roll to the top of your left foot, stretch out your ankle. Good, set your foot down. Turn to the top of your mat. If you're not, inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift. And then bend your knees, come down to your seat. Scoot back if you're not in the center of your mat. Place your hands behind you about a foot. Press in your hands, lift your sternum. Separate your feet wider than your hips. Let your knees fall to the left. And exhale. Inhale, lift your knees. Exhale, knees to the right. Just flowing with your breath. Inhale to lift. Exhale to the left. Inhale through the center. Exhale to the right. Once more, side to side. Good. Inhale, lift up through the center. Have your feet hips distance apart. We're going to set up for a deep hip opening called fire log pose. So we'll work it in stages as we do most of the postures, and just stop where you need to. So first stage is to cross your left ankle above your right knee, making a figure 4 shape. And you'll probably immediately feel a good stretch in your outer left hip. This could be your pose. For more sensation, you could slide your right heel closer in. You could walk your hands closer in. And take a breath there, see how it feels. Next stage would be to heel toe your right foot to the left so that you can begin to stack your shins. So this is where the pose gets its name, fire log. Like your calves, your lower legs are like 2 logs stacked on top of one another. Really important here that you keep your feet flexed and active to stabilize through your knees. And if your left knee is kind of just hovering up here, that's okay. You could place maybe like a blanket or cushion underneath there for some padding if you'd like. Take a deep breath, feel this shape out, or wherever you're at in the pose, feel it out. If you'd like more sensation, follow your next exhale, walk your hands forward and start to fold in. And so you always have permission as if you need permission from me, it's your body, but know that you have permission to rewind. If you like folded forward, you're like, oh, that's way too much for me today. Rewind to the previous stage. You could be here, you could be here, you could be here. Take a moment to reconnect with your breath and settle into the posture. And complete your exhale. And as you inhale, come up. Set both feet to the mat. Give your knees a little sway side to side. Or if there's another way your body wants to move right now, maybe it would feel good to straighten your legs, bounce them out a little bit, point and flex your feet. Just kind of reset. And then we'll meet with knees bent for side 2. So cross your right ankle above your left knee, flex your foot, figure 4 shape. Each side's going to be a little different, so feel it out on this side. For more sensation, you could walk your left heel closer, walk your hands in. And take a deep breath. Take it slow on this side, just like we did on the other side. For more sensation, you could walk your left foot over to the right and stack your shins. Keep your feet flexed and active to stabilize your knees. Take a breath here or wherever you are. Feel it out. Option to fold forward on an exhale. And always giving yourself permission to rewind, adjust the pose so that you're taking care of your body. Deepen your breath wherever you are. Inhaling through your nose, fill your lungs, your low belly. And exhale, slowly emptying your breath out. And on your next inhale, start to come out of the pose. Take your feet to the floor, and again, just kind of move in a way that feels good to you. That could be the windshield wiper. It could be shaking out your legs. It could be something else. You might not be sure what your body needs, but the only way to start to find out and get in touch with that is to ask yourself the question. And the good news is there's no right or wrong answer. So just kind of explore, experiment, maybe tap your feet out. Kind of did that subconsciously. We're going to set up for rest, meditation. If you're listening to music with me, you might skip ahead to the last song or the second to last song, just to kind of slow down the sounds. So yeah, the second to last is steady beat. Let's skip to the last song and then calm. So if you remember from last week, you have two options for rest. You can come into an easy seat, or you can rest on your back. You can rest on your belly, literally however you're comfortable. That is what's going to be the most rejuvenating for your nervous system. It does help to be in some posture where your spine is nice and long. That helps to free up your breath, which is also useful when we're soothing ourselves. So take some time. If you're transitioning to your back, move slowly. Make any little adjustments you need to feel good. We're going to come back to this practice we did on Thursday from Tayla, the felt sense. Okay. So she says, in order to gain access to the information being offered by the living body, we must first practice experiencing and exploring our felt sense of the world. So this is known as interoception, which is how you feel inside, and proprioception, which is your awareness of your body. Knowing what is happening in our bodies gives way to having a felt sense of what is occurring for us in any given moment. So what follows is a practice that not only invites you to lovingly acknowledge what is true about your access to your internal world, but also expand your capacity for internal awareness. So soften your gaze, or if you prefer, you can close your eyes. And take a few moments to notice your breath as it is. Notice its qualities, how it flows, if it's deep or shallow, easy or challenging. If you can feel it in your nose or in your belly, just let your awareness wrap itself around your breathing. And when you're ready, invite your awareness to meander to the crown of your head. And once there, slowly welcome your awareness to melt like warm honey down your whole body. As you send your awareness through your body, perhaps notice what it's like. You notice places of tension, softness, heat, comfort, or aches. So your awareness pours down from the crown of your head, through your face, neck, throat, shoulders, down your arms, to your fingertips, down your torso, to your belly and hips, legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Arriving at the bottom of your body, gently draw your awareness back up. Again, noticing the qualities of your body at rest. Just complete as many rounds of this internal noticing as feels supportive, interesting, and nourishing to you. And when you complete your exploration, just return to noticing your breath for a few rounds. And if your eyes are closed, you can gently blink them open, reorienting yourself to the space you're in. And maybe drawing your attention back inside, kind of shifting in and out of focus. You can start to deepen your breath to wake your body up, maybe move and stretch, whether you're seated or on your back. If you are resting on your back, you can take your time, roll to one side, press into your hands, and find your way up to an easy seat. And then once you find your seat, you can rest your hands on your thighs. If you'd like, connect your palms together in front of your heart, whatever feels comforting and nourishing for you. And let's bow chin to chest and head to heart. Just honoring the wisdom of your body that carried you through this practice. And as you're ready, lift your gaze, open your eyes. Thanks so much for being here today.